On this episode, we're going to add the wooden walkway and the guardrails. In part 4, we weathered the ties, the rail, the spikes, the fish plates, and the tie plates. At this time, I would like to add the walkway along each side of the bridge. I used 1 by 10 scale inch basswood, and I treated and weathered that wood with a technique using India ink and alcohol. To weather the fresh basswood strips, I simply fill a container with alcohol, add a few drops of India ink, and then submerge the wooden strips in this mixture. They quickly turn kind of a weathered gray color, and they look better almost immediately. Here I have some of the basswood after it has received the India ink and alcohol bath. It looks a little bit more dirty, a little bit more gray. Once it dries, it looks really nice. And there are other things you can do to this to make each one stand out. I mean, you don't want every board looking the same. There's an effect that I used on this one. If you notice a lot of old wood or planks exposed to the elements, they weather almost a white color. And that's really hard to do in miniature because it looks more like paint chipping. But you can use these artist chalks, and you can take a piece. It's pretty easy, nothing to it. Just drag it along the wood, just like that. If I had a light gray, it probably looked better. But all I had to do is rub it in. It starts looking like old wood. You might like that. Play with it. Rub something else into it, chalks or powders. Oops. And kind of a cool feature with can use this panel line stuff. You've already watched me use this. Let me shake one up. Here I've probably just taken a wash. I hit this piece of wood with the panel line. Let's find a clean one. Oh, I mean, there's no wrong way to do this. I mean, it turns them really dark. This looks more like creosote now. That's probably way too much, but that's okay. That's the only way you're going to find out. A cool trick with the ends of these boards is you can make them look older just by picking up some of this panel line wash and just touch the end. See what happened there? That's really cool. Yeah, like some look really nice. Try the different colors, try a different piece of wood. Get a lot so it really wicks up into there. Not enough. There we go, big drop. See it creep up into that? Add some more. Go along the side. there. Get some really cool things happening. That'll make each one look a little bit different. Of course, there's also this gray. And I'll put up some pictures of some old lumber that I found. And you can look at it for yourself. I'm looking for the one that's black. Oh, this one's really dark. See, once it dries, it's not so bad. But you can definitely still work with that. Probably scuff it a little bit. Emery board. I mean, use all your tools. Some gray panel line. Get a big drop on the end. Let it wick. See how it crept into the fibers? But it's still going up. Went into that wood about an inch and a half. Let that dry. Well, that's going to look really good, you know, with other pieces. You know, when you start getting them, the planks. Which one did I just put white on? I think it's this one on top. I mean, you can get a distressed, weathered, an old wood look just by playing around. And you know, I like the chalks. And I mean, why not try chalks? Pick up a piece, just kind of gives it, I don't know, got an old, pretty dark brown. One I really like is the one that looks pink. This one. And this one is called Burnt Sienna Tint. This one I liked on the railroad tie, the plastic ties. It gives it a wood look. Work that in. It's forgiving, you can't do it wrong. And it looks so good. But that trick with the panel line, just touching the end of the stick, where you can get into the fibers and let that stuff really wick in and soak, it makes a really, really nice distressed wooden board. Old distressed plank board, timber, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to cut these into little pieces. Well, keep the 2x4s regular length, but let's put some of these on the bridge. Let's make a walkway. This is how I used the 1x10 strips, or 2x10 strips, I'm sorry, scaled 2x10 lumber. I placed them over the ties and glued them down. And what I'm trying to show you in this picture is the long ties is where I put the seam between planks or boards. I tried to overlap the longest tie on every joint, and I believe I did that. And I staggered them to give them a more random look. Some are 3 spans long, some are 2, some are 4. I just staggered it to give it a more random look. I'll show you a time lapse of me putting some of this on, because it's not too exciting to watch, but it takes a long time to do, and I didn't really want to be bothered with the camera in my way while doing this. I needed to keep them straight and tight against each other. So watch this short clip. I have most of the walkway on the bridge, and the reason I haven't gone past the end is because there's going to be a 45-foot lead, and the walkway continues onto that span, which is I believe it's called a box girder. So each end will have a 45-foot box girder attached, and I have to account for that. That's why I'm leaving stuff long or short. That way it just transitions nicely to that next span. But I think it's looking pretty good. Looks like aged wood, weathered wood. And as you can see, I'm starting to put the rail stanchions, and in some cases I have put railings on. And the reason they're on already is I needed to come up with a system, one that was efficient and worth showing somebody. And the stanchions, as you can see, they just attach to the end of that long tie, and they're all on the same side. They're all on the right side, and that's what I'm going for. And I went with a 48-inch 2x4. I better put them over here. So I need 80 of these. So I went and cut 80 stanchions to 48 scale inches. You can do that however you want. I don't have a chopper. I just used a razor blade and a line on a little piece of yardstick. Chopped 80 of those up or more. And the hardest part is getting them straight and square. Now, what I did, a Lego block. A Lego block sits there just like that. It's almost exactly the width as 3 2x10s. Those let it follow this beam right here, and you can just kind of run them along, and you don't even have to just use your eye. Get them straight and attach them. That's okay. That's going to let it get straight in the vertical. I took another Lego block, and with some strip styrene, I built it up so that this edge right here, with the 48-inch stanchion, plus the thickness of the railroad tie, it should be pretty close to level on the bottom. And let's say that's an 8 or a 10-inch tie. So this is going to be 4 foot 2 inch or 42 inches, and that should be high enough. And that's what I used. This just slides along here. Oops, be careful, they will break. And what I'm using is super glue, just some CA, and I'll show you how I put them on. I'll put these 5 on and show you my system. All right, let's get 5 stanchions. It's your little Lego blocks, your little jig, and a dab of some super glue. I use this because I can buy it at the local drugstore. Drop on there. It's just a little piece of tin foil. Careful, you will glue that to your elbow at least once. I'm gonna go over here. Get that to focus. I'm at a really low angle. This could go pretty quick. I've done most of them already. So this is my fabric store tweezer, and it's probably the best one that I have. And it is Martelli brand. Oh, it's just a really nice tweezer. Anyway, grab it there, touch the end into the super glue. The wood is going to wick up a lot of that glue. How's this? A little bit better. Pick up a stanchion, get a little bit of super glue on the end. Put it in position. It'll stick. Squeeze it. And done. There you go. It should be straight and it should be square, just like that. Do another one. Super glue. Get it in position, hold it for a second. The glue will tack up. Squeeze it. There you go. They're straight in this, and in the horizontal, you can always just make an adjustment before it gets completely hard. And if you want, you can put a Lego in there. Let it cure. Should be straight. Give it a couple seconds. There's not a lot of glue holding it. So what I like about these is that they have a nice tip. Keep that tip clean. And when you squeeze it, you can see the glue. Focus. You see when the glue gets pushed out? See it right there? With some control, not in view, I'm going to just put a dab of super glue right here in this little nook. Just like that. The super glue will wick into each piece of wood, and it gets really hard. It's almost the wood fibers along with the super glue are really strong, so if you hit that, it's going to break off a piece. There you go. Do that 3 more times. And actually, it's taking me longer to film this than it is to actually do it. You could probably get all 5 of them on there in less than a minute if you're not talking or adjusting a camera. You don't have to adjust them too much usually. Yeah, that one went on nice. Guess I missed one here. Just like that. Now as you glue them to this tie, when you go to squeeze them together, the tie, if it's straight, it should automatically line up the stanchion. So about all you're trying to do when you put it in place is hold the top up against this and the edge against the Lego. Give it a couple seconds, the glue tacks up, and on to the next one. Admire your work. They should be pretty straight. They're easy to break off if you need to make an adjustment. It's no big deal. And the way this is constructed is they were 2x4s with a 2x4 cap. Okay, so that'll be next. That one just stays in place. And I'm just using full length basswood. There's no reason to worry about seams. That's just going to be a headache. So I'm just going to use full length. And that'll be next. But first I'm going to finish the rest of these stanchions. And that's where I'm at right now. I now have all these stanchions on, enough of them to put this top rail onto the walkway. And this is a full-length piece of basswood. What is it, 12 inches or so? And this is pretty simple. You just set it on top. It should stay there. Butt it against the last one. The seam is right here. There you go, you can see it. And now I'm just gonna tack each one all the way down. I don't know if this is gonna be too interesting, but you can sure watch if you want. And it fell off, so. The glue already dried, so I have to be quick. What's the deal here? Tack it, hold it, move on to the next one. Now if you have one that isn't perfectly straight in the vertical, this is where you can go back to the good old Lego block, and that's clearly not going to stay. What the hell? Anyway, can use the Lego block. You can just push it up against there and then dab the glue on and hold it. So you can make a little bit of an adjustment as you're moving along. Some of these already have the second rail on them, but and I might tack this one. Make sure it's centered. Hold it. Doesn't take long. There, now it's actually got some. Oh, and I just broke that one off. This one's not straight. Oh, maybe it is. Well, anyway, put it where you want it. Push down. Make sure it's straight. Tack it. Make sure it's square. Go the length of the rail without breaking off any more on the other side. But that's okay. This is the front of the bridge. This is the bridge, the business side, where you will be viewing. The other side is not, but still I don't want to break any off. But I'll glue these on, and then we'll have a top rail. The next one goes along the top rail on the side. And the rest of them are pretty easy because they just go up against the other one. So this one will be, instead of laying flat on the top, I turn it and I glue it against the one on top and against the stanchion. And they'll get really rigid with this one in place. As you can see, I've already done that here. As I'm shaking. See, right here. Let's turn it around. You can see and then of course the third one I just spotted in between the top and the deck. Wow, it does not want to focus. So it starts to look pretty good. There's a lot going on. And I'll check in a little bit. Get this camera out of my way so I can actually see what I'm doing. And I'll show you what I've done. Here is the railing so far. It's coming together. Right now, I'm going to add this 2x4 that goes on the back side of the top of the rail. You can see it on this side. Okay, I put some of them on, and I'm going to show you a trick I have. It holds them in place and it lets you glue them and it lets you move along rather quickly. So let me set up the camera and I'll show you how I do it, and maybe this will help you out. Okay, now the one on the back side here, move this over, ends right here. You can just see it. So that's where this one will begin, and then this one will go to the end. So I'll butt this one against the one on the back side. old-fashioned clothespin clip. And just that easy. Clip it here. Clip it here. You can make sure you're not up higher than you should be. And all you do, take your little squeezy bottle of super glue and tack, tack, tack. See the glue go on? That'll soak into the wood. Spread it out if you want. But it disappears pretty quick. It soaks right into that wood. You just give it a few seconds, even that long, and you just start moving. Sometimes the clothespin gets glued. And you just start moving along. Just like that. Tack, tack, and you'll see that disappear into the wood. I think it's spread it out, just like that, and that's it. Just a drop. Debris from the wood. And I keep going with this one. Hold these right here. Tack, tack, tack. And that soaks in really fast. And you should be good. Holding it ready. Those pins come off, and a really, really nice railing. The rails are going on nicely. The only segment I have left is this little end area right there. And with that last piece, I will conclude this part of the bridge. I have the ties on the spans, the rails on the ties, the guardrails on, the walkway along each side, all of the rail stanchions, the top rails, and the two side rails. With this short piece, I will be finished with that.